Friday morning hit Hallis Hall like a punch to the gut. The Chicago Bears woke up expecting a challenging matchup against Baltimore, but what unfolded was far worse than anyone anticipated. The team's injury report wasn't just concerning, it was alarming. What was shaping up to be a great test for Caleb Williams and company suddenly turned into a survival mission. The Ravens, led by the electric Lamar Jackson, seemed poised to return to full strength just in time. Jackson practiced in full on Friday, a sign that he'll likely start on Sunday despite being listed as questionable. Baltimore's head coach John Harbaugh didn't confirm his status, but all signs point toward the former MVP being back on the field. And if there's one thing Chicago fans know too well, it's how dangerous Lamar can be when he's healthy, even if he's not at 100%. For the Bears, this game could have been a measuring stick, a chance to see how their young defense stacked up against one of the league's most dynamic quarterbacks. Instead, it's becoming a question of survival. Injuries have completely shifted the narrative. What was once a promising defensive front now looks dangerously thin. The secondary has been decimated. Kyler Gordon, who had been limited earlier in the week, suffered a setback and was ruled out with a groin injury. Tyrique Stevenson didn't practice all week due to a shoulder issue and is also unavailable. To make matters worse, tight end kmet, who hasn't missed a single game since entering the league, will miss his first. That's 91 consecutive starts gone in a flash. Adding to the growing list, running back Roschon Johnson remains sidelined, and Braxton Jones, the sturdy tackle anchoring the offensive line, unexpectedly popped up on the report with a new injury. His absence could spell major trouble for an offense that's still finding its rhythm. By contrast, linebacker Tremaine Edmunds is good to go after being listed as limited earlier in the week, one of the few pieces of positive news for the team. But that's where the optimism stops. Because even with Edmunds back, the ripple effect of losing so many key players can't be understated. Chicago now faces a Ravens team fighting to keep its season alive. At 1-5, Baltimore's desperation could make them even more dangerous. This isn't a team that's going to take its foot off the gas, it's an empty the tank game for them. Every player in purple and black knows that a loss here would bury their postseason hopes. For the Bears, this isn't just another Sunday. It's a test of resilience. Head coach Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Dennis Allen are staring down one of their biggest challenges of the season: how to keep the defense afloat when half of it is on the injury report. The only silver lining? The Ravens' offensive identity might allow Chicago to play heavier sets. Baltimore leans heavily on the run game with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, often using multiple tight ends. That means Chicago can stay in its base 4-3 defense more often, potentially masking the thin depth at cornerback. With Noah Sewell returning from concussion protocol, the Bears could line up all three linebackers, T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmunds, and Sewell, to strengthen the middle of the field. But even with schematic tweaks, there's no denying reality: this defense is hanging by a thread. It's not just that the Bears are missing players, it's who they're missing. The cornerback room has been gutted. What began as a group with potential has now been stripped down to backups and practice squad call-ups. Rookie Jalen Jones might be the only healthy backup corner available. Deshaun Wright, who began the year as the fourth option, suddenly finds himself lining up as Chicago's CB1. Nick McLeod, who entered the year fighting for a roster spot, is now starting opposite him. Josh Blackwell, known more for his special teams contributions than his coverage skills, is now the starting nickel corner. It's a precarious position to be in against Lamar Jackson, even if his passing game has been inconsistent this season. Baltimore has enough weapons to exploit mismatches: Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, all of them capable of burning single coverage. And with Derrick Henry pounding the ball on the ground, the Bears' defense will be stretched thin trying to balance both threats. Yet, despite all of this, Dennis Allen's group still carries a quiet confidence. They've been here before. The Bears' defense has fought through adversity all season long, missing players, adapting, and finding ways to win. If there's one thing this unit has proven, it's that they don't quit. Safety play could be Chicago's saving grace. Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard have been outstanding, physical, instinctive, and vocal leaders on the field. Expect to see more creative alignments using Jonathan Owens and Elijah Hicks to bring extra support in coverage and disguise blitz packages. Still, the odds are stacked. Against Detroit earlier this year, the Bears handled a top-tier offense with surprising poise. But this challenge is different. Baltimore brings a style of play that punishes mistakes. Lamar's mobility and Henry's power running force defenses into difficult choices. And with so many starters sidelined, even one misstep could be costly. The goal for the defense might not even be domination this week, it's survival. Holding Baltimore under 30 points would be a success considering the circumstances. For Chicago to win, the offense must shoulder the burden. If you've made it this far, you're clearly part of the loyal Bears community that lives and breathes every snap. So here's the deal. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'll be covering every update, injury, and game reaction the moment it happens. Join thousands of other Bears fans in the comments, drop your predictions, your thoughts, and your takes. This is your team, your community, and your voice deserves to be heard. Now back to the field. If the Bears are going to steal a win in Baltimore, it won't be the defense that leads the charge, it'll be Caleb Williams. The rookie quarterback is stepping into one of the toughest environments in football, short-handed, and under immense pressure to deliver. Last week against New Orleans, Caleb was serviceable, not spectacular. He made some solid throws, managed the game, but never truly took over. That won't be enough this time. Facing the Ravens, he'll need to elevate his play, command the offense, and show the leadership Chicago believed in when they drafted him. The task is daunting. He's without his top tight end. His left tackle is out. The backfield is limited. But this is exactly the kind of game that defines a young quarterback's career, a test of poise, creativity, and willpower. Caleb doesn't need to throw for 400 yards or chase a highlight reel. What he needs is efficiency, accuracy, quick reads, and the ability to capitalize on Baltimore's defensive lapses. The Ravens' defense has been inconsistent all season, giving up big plays through the air and struggling in red zone coverage. But history tells us that they often tighten up mid-season. If Chicago wants to take advantage, they must do it early. Ben Johnson's offense will likely lean on 11 personnel sets, 1 tight end and 3 wide receivers, exploiting Baltimore's weakness against that look. Expect Coulson Loveland to play a larger role, stepping into the spotlight as the team's lead tight end. With kmet sidelined, Loveland's hands and route running will be crucial, especially on third downs and in the red zone. A breakout performance here could cement his place as a rising weapon in Chicago's offense. Wideouts DJ Moore and Rome Odunze will also be key. Moore's chemistry with Caleb continues to develop, and Odunze's ability to stretch the field could open up opportunities underneath. If the offensive line can hold up long enough, even without Braxton Jones, the Bears can find success through the air. The bigger question, can Chicago score enough? In their last 3 outings, the Bears have consistently hit the mid-20s in points. This time, they may need to crack 30 to have a shot. The Ravens are desperate, the crowd will be loud, and Lamar will be on the other sideline with everything to prove. But if Caleb can go toe-to-toe with Lamar Jackson and win, it would be a defining moment. The kind of victory that shifts narratives, energizes a locker room, and sends a message to the entire league. The Chicago Bears have found their leader. Because that's what this game really is, not just a battle for a win, but a statement opportunity. Chicago has fought through adversity all season long. Every week, someone new has stepped up. Every setback has revealed another source of strength. And while this week's injuries are brutal, this team's spirit hasn't cracked. No one's expecting the Bears to walk into Baltimore and dominate. But if they can fight, scrap, and find a way, with Caleb leading the charge, this could become one of the most memorable wins of the season. As kickoff approaches, the task is clear: the defense needs to survive. The offense needs to rise. And Caleb Williams needs to deliver the kind of performance that defines not just games, but legacies. Final wrap up. The odds are long. The injuries are real. But belief? That's something this team still has. The Bears aren't backing down, not now, not after everything they've battled through. Sunday's matchup won't be easy, but it's the kind of game where stories are written, heroes emerge, and the future starts to take shape. Bears vs. Ravens. Who you got? Drop your score predictions below, and don't forget to subscribe for full pre-game coverage and post-game breakdowns right after kickoff. Bear down. Always.